Welcome to another episode of Acoustic Chef. This is D. Will.
And this is your girl, Regina.
This is Capel.
And Ebony is here.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What up, people?
Ain't nothing, man. Ain't nothing. Just another day. Ready to talk about some good old news and shit.
Another day, another dollar.
Yeah, so last night when I was asleep, like I had fallen asleep watching something that one of y'all had recommended, and it wasn't good, so I fell asleep. Anyways, in the middle of the night, I got this cramp in my leg, like this Charlie horse in my leg, and it woke me up, and I was like, oh my god, and so my husband wasn't in bed yet, and so I'm like screaming for him to come help me. He never came to help me. And so I had to get up, and I limped into the front room, and I always go get a spoonful of mustard because I heard that mustard helps when you have leg cramps. So, and I don't care for mustard, but I get a spoonful of it and I take it, and then like 90 seconds later it goes away. But like I'm like screaming and yelling for him. He didn't even come help me. And then he said, "What are you limping for?" When I walked in the front, and I was like, I got a Charlie horse. And he was like, oh. And then he went back to his phone, whatever he was doing. And then when he saw me go for the mustard and like get some orange juice, he's like, oh, I'll help you. I already got it. It's too late. I don't need your help now. And he was like, oh, okay.
At least he didn't say, fix me a sandwich.
It's a Charlie horse or whatever. I mean, most people don't know what to do. Huh?
What? He didn't know what a problem was, though.
When I told him, like, this has happened before in the middle of the night when we're both asleep. Like, I'll go running or something early in the day, which I did yesterday, and I haven't been jogging in a long time. And then I went yesterday early, and then in the night, here it goes again. And he knows. Usually I say, go give me some mustard, give me a bottle of water, some orange juice, whatever, to make it go away. Yeah. He knew what was wrong. He didn't even get up. He was just like, oh, what's wrong with you? And when I told him, he was like, oh, okay. He tried to help, but nothing. I was like, all right, it's time for
I didn't know mustard did anything though.
I read
so to use vinegar.
I've heard that too, like pickle juice, vinegar, pickle juice.
Yeah,
I heard about pickle juice.
Yeah, pickle juice, mustard, bananas. We give to our athletes.
Yeah, they give you like pickle pops at the end of a marathon. If you ever run a marathon, and I've never ran a full marathon, just like a 5K, and at the end they have these pickle pops, and I was like, what is this for? So then when I started like training for the next one, that's when all of the bad things started happening. So I kept pickle pops, pickle juice. And then I read somewhere that mustard works faster, and it does. Like 30 seconds later, the cramp was gone, but the pain is still there. Like it still hurts, like, you know, that cramp was there, but the cramp actually, it let up and it went away. I was just pissed that he didn't get up. Like, you know what's wrong with me? Get up and help. He didn't help me. He was just like, okay, girl.
You ever had a pickle pop, Capel?
Hell no. I don't like pickles. So I mean, I'll have no reason to have a pickle pop. I've never run a marathon, so until I run the marathon, then I'll maybe need pickle pops then, but nah.
If you ever had a cramp in your leg like I had, you gonna eat whatever it takes to make it go away. You don't care.
I mean, I've had the Charlie horses before. I stretch my leg out, drink water, and take some salt tablets, or just take salt in general, and just kind of like.
Oh, that help?
Yeah, because you need the sodium. That's what the pickle comes from, the sodium. You know.
I think it's something else. There's something in the mustard that makes it go. I don't know if it's a turmeric or I don't know what's in it, but the mustard makes it go away like right away.
That's crazy. So. I know mustard help like when we have like a stomach ache or something like that.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Like a spoonful of mustard, or if you feeling nauseated or something, man, that mustard works wonders.
It goes away.
You got some cocaine in that mustard or something.
It works. Frenchies. Anyway, I'm still in pain, but at least the cramp is gone.
You gotta spread. You gotta actually spread some mustard on your leg.
Rub it into the pores. Lotion, mustard lotion.
What you was watching or whatnot that you say that you fell asleep on?
I knew it was gonna come back.
Because you know who recommended it. There's only one person that's recommended shows on here.
Put you to sleep.
It was Snowden. I was watching Snowden, and I was like, this is actually pretty good. And then like I woke up and then I woke up in pain and the movie was still on. And I was like, damn, how long is this movie? But also I am in a lot of pain. So
Yeah, you only
I turned it off and then I was like, okay, I'll come back to it when I'm not in pain and I'm not tired. Because I
yeah
was also kind of tired. So that's why.
yeah you only
Probably.
dozed off for like 5 minutes, but it felt like it was a couple hours or something.
That the movie is
5 minutes.
long. It's more than 2 hours.
Yeah, it's
It
like
is.
2 hours and something. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's a long movie.
Yeah. But I am gonna go back and watch it
Yeah, yeah.
when I'm wide
What's
awake.
on tap for today? What's on tap for today? What we talking about?
So, in the news this week, there's been some debate on music, different types of music and music genres, and specifically gospel music. So you have Luke
Closer to
Nasty.
your mic. Talking to your mic. Get closer to your mic.
Then you have Luke Nasty, who sampled "Melodies from Heaven" by Kirk Franklin, and the social media world went in flames about it. So they're talking about this is blasphemy. How could you do it? It's kind of jamming. What are y'all thoughts on it?
So so oh, you want to go ahead, compare?
Nah, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
So we played the song earlier or whatever, and that was my first time hearing it. That was my first time hearing any of this news. And I thought the song was jamming. You know what I'm saying? It's probably DJ Luke Nasty best song yet to date. You know what I'm saying? He got a couple other joints that's all right. You know what I'm saying? But I thought this beat was real tight. um, so I imagine that it was a lot of Christian folks that was in the uproar.
I think it
Like,
was all kinds of folks that was in an
Yeah, I don't
uproar. It was
know
all kind of people who were like,
what
"What?"
people are anymore.
But everybody knows that Kirk Franklin song, "Melodies from Heaven," whether you're a Christian or not. People know that song, and they know
Kirk
So
it's
Franklin is
about
the
it.
last person to get upset about somebody taking one of his. He's the last
I
person.
don't.
so
Nah,
this the
Why is he the
thing.
last?
This the thing. From what I've read so far, Kirk Franklin has not said anything about getting upset because
Right.
this is a gospel song and he's sampling it to whatever he's rapping about. It's supposedly about permission from Kirk Franklin's perspective because he didn't get permission to sample it. He's upset because he's using his work or his whatever to create work, create songs or whatever. And the community though, what I've read mostly from people making posts, it's about the fact that this is blasphemy. This is not right. You shouldn't use a song that's a gospel song to make a song that's not a gospel song or whatever his song about. If you look at the graphic, it shows a woman and then like where her butt is a peach. So you can imagine what the song is about, and that's what. So I think it's two sided. The legal side is where Kirk Franklin's coming from, which I think that's probably a mask. I think is a mask, a way for him to get it taken down. If you were to actually hear his true thoughts, he probably would disagree with it being used for money purposes, also for religious purposes. But it's the community, people that on social media talking about it's wrong for him to use it, not from a legal standpoint, but from a religion standpoint, and that's where this is ridiculous. In my opinion, that's where it gets really ridiculous.
Well, blasphemy for one don't have anything to do with music
Exactly. Exactly.
or anything outside of pretty much treating God like he's the devil or something to that effect or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So, secondly, the music that's utilized is made to worship and stuff like that or whatever. And a lot of these gospel artists that be so unworldly and so Christian and so religious and stuff like that, they go over into the hip hop world and sample music from the hip hop world and bring it back into the gospel world and stuff like that or whatever. And I'd be wondering, like, how did you hear this song? You know what I'm saying? Like, because you so religious and you're so not of this world and all of that type of talk or whatever. How did you know what I'm saying? How did you even hear this song to know that it existed? So if somebody was to just take a beat, then I could just say, okay, somebody maybe just sent them this instrumental and was like, man, kill this. No, they take the words to the song and match the words and add their own words. And instead of twerking for pimp is twerking for Jesus or something like that or whatever. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? And now it's a gospel record.
Working for Jesus.
So where's the outrage for that?
I,
I've been had a bone to pick about that or whatever because I don't understand it or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't.
I've
I,
seen some outrage about those things too, though.
oh,
I
okay.
To be,
have. I've
yeah,
seen some outrage about those too. Did y'all? Okay, so not too long ago, maybe I don't even know how long it was ago, but some months ago, the Clark sisters had a movie that came out. I think it was on Lifetime, and
yeah,
it talked about how they became the Clark sisters, how they got so famous, and also some of the things that happened that kept them from being probably as famous as they could have been. Like for example, they were invited to appear on one of the award shows, and their mother performed with them, and she received so much backlash from the church because, oh my God, it's a secular show, why would you do that? And she's like, well, the main thing is to get the word out and to evangelize, and we want people to know about Jesus. And they were like, no, you don't do it in that way. And she was like, then what way? Also, Twinkie, who wrote most of their songs, on one of the scenes, she played a song, and one of the other sisters was like, wait a minute, that sounds like a Stevie Wonder joint. And she was like, it is, don't tell mama though. So their mom wasn't listening to all these secular songs, but they were, and they were pulling a lot of their, well, not a lot, but some of their inspiration for their music, not the words, but the music came from secular music, like Stevie Wonder, one song in particular. And so this isn't anything new. It's been happening for a long time. But I think the I think the outrage now is because it's happening on the other side. Like, let me take this gospel song and use it to talk about, twerking and sex and whatever else. So I think there's the there's the idea that one side is making the song whole and holy and good, and then but the other side is like muddying it and dirtying it up and talking about things that aren't that way. And that's where the drama is happening right now. That's what I think anyway.
I
Man.
think it's utterly ridiculous or whatever. It's music. You know what I'm saying? It's art. Either you like it or you don't like it. You know what I'm saying? It's as simple as that or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Like I know, say like Coolio was upset that what old boy name is, Capel, took his song Gangsta's Paradise and turned it into a like a spoof Weird Al
Oh, Weird Al
Yankovic.
Yankovic, yeah.
And I remember Coolio was upset about that because this song was dear to him. Actually, probably his only song or whatever, because I don't remember much else or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I get it. I know you're an artist and you sensitive about your music and stuff like that or whatever. But to me, it's just kind of it's weak. It's weak as hell or whatever. But at the same, like I guess this is a little bit different because you got a whole group of people believe in the same thing or whatnot. Like you can't take our art form that's meant to specifically, be talking to God and be a direct channel to God and worshiping God and stuff, and taking our music and turning it into something else, something secular and stuff like that. Is I don't
yeah.
know, bro.
He
It's
didn't
just
only change. He didn't only take the beat. He didn't only take the, like the melody. There's actual some of the wording, like the
yeah,
Like
chorus.
exactly.
rain down or something you
He's
say. Yeah.
yeah. So and then instead of raining the blessings, it's raining that cash on his ass, basically. So I get it. I mean, I still think that it's it's hypocritical and it's on both sides, but it's I don't know, what is it, copyright laws against it, like did they get permission, what's
So I don't have any gripe with that side of it because it's Kirk Franklin's right to his music. If he wants to go that route and say you didn't get permission to sample my music, and DJ Luke Nasty is making money off of it, fine. That's not. I'm not gonna speak about what I think he believes. That's what's being reported. That's what I read. So I have no problem with that. But on the part what y'all talking about, these people are simple-minded fools. It's music, okay? It's music. We created it. It's not like these. It's not like there was a Bible of music that came from heaven, and these songs are sacred to God Himself that He wrote, and that He does not. We shouldn't be tampering with them. I mean, it's music that we created. I mean, if this song came first and then Melodies from Heaven came second, nobody would be tripping. You know, it is hypocritical. I mean, when people do stuff like Twerk for Jesus, that's crazy. I think it's hilarious, but it's stupid. I mean, I think it's stupid, but whatever. Twerk for Jesus. If you want to twerk in your home and you praying to Jesus, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, if you're going to twerk for anybody, that's who you need to twerk for. So why are we tripping about it? Some things I look at and I be like, it's ridiculous. But when it comes down to it, it's ridiculous. When it comes down to it, it's ridiculous because of the perception that's been put into my head of what should be and should not be in church. Like, if you take wholesome intent, if you have a wholesome intent and what you're doing is truly for God, then if he judges our true heart, then everybody can shut the hell up and leave it alone. If a church accepts Twerk for Jesus in the in the church and everybody is okay with twerking for Jesus, then let Jesus be the judge. Let God be the judge. Everybody else shut the hell up.
I mean,
I'm judging too.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It's like
I want to go to that church. And see
I'm just to this point of how don't we get the concept of free will? Like why that concept, people forget about that. That's, to me, that's the biggest piece of the Bible, is that we all have a choice, but people want to take away other people's choices and judge and condemn. This is ridiculous. That's why I started off with simple-minded fools, because they, people just. The conversation around what people do when it comes to religion has always been the biggest waste of time for me. And this is another one where the song is tight. If you like hip hop, listen to it and tell me you don't like it because it's not tight. Like, if you don't like hip hop, that's one thing. But if you like Melodies from Heaven, you're probably mad because you like it. You want to jam it, and then you fighting within yourself to not listen to it because when you hear it, you don't want to admit the fact that the shit is tight. Kirk Franklin probably 3
seconds of it.
Kirk Franklin probably heard it for the first time while he was getting the lap dance in the strip club anyway and was pissed off. That's probably what happened.
Not what happened.
Man, all of these people have turned me into like a heretic and stuff like that or whatever. Like, I ain't gonna say turn me into, but after doing all of the reading that I do, the research that I do, and just watching how these people act and stuff like that. That's why I say everything. People,
man, chopped and screwed.
DJ Luke Nasty is on the ones and twos in here.
Ones and twos.
Damien don't know what we talking about.
Yeah, he'll hear it later.
I'm not gonna hear it because Zoom is Zoom.
Hey, bro, never heard Zoom.
You'll hear it because we all recording. But go ahead.
No, well, he won't hear it unless he watched the video.
I won't hear it
while you was talking. So the people don't like Spotify. They're not gonna hear this. But if you watch the video, they gonna see it. While you was talking, you was like, you just start like skipping, repeating yourself. Yeah. You said one thing and it played like 3 times in a row. Yeah. It was kind of tight. It was kind of tight. Yeah.
Shout out to Luke Nasty and Screw and Zoom. But nah, man, like when you like, did y'all watch that video of this that I sent y'all, that this woman was possessed with a sex demon?
Oh my God.
I did. I saw it like last year, but I did. Yes, I did see it.
That's
people
religion. That's religion, and people believe that.
And see, that's and I laugh at that stuff. That's funny to me. Not funny because it's, oh my God, how could you be that stupid? Like, that shit was just funny. Like, the whole process of what happened and what she believed, like, what she was saying and all that. But that stuff is funny to me because, like I said, it's not funny because, like, I think she's stupid. It's funny to me just because it's funny. Like,
why
twerking,
you keep saying she?
Like twerking.
What about the pastor? What about the church members?
That whole scenario was funny to me. But like when I saw the video for Twerking for Jesus, that was funny to me. You know what I'm saying? But it's funny to me because it's just hilarious, like some silly shit. I mean, people do believe that, and I'm not gonna say it's sad. I'm not gonna say it's not sad. I stopped putting judgment on that stuff. I just stopped doing it. Like, you do what the hell you want to do. What I do condemn or what I do judge is when it's clear that somebody is doing it for profit. When they are clearly not what they say they are, and they're doing it, they stealing money like that. To me, that's a problem. Something like that should be addressed if you can prove it, if there's, you know, something documented or evidence. But when people doing that stuff, like, whatever, you want to have serpents in your church and believe in holding deadly snakes and stuff because you feel like God gonna protect you from not getting bit. Well, if your ass get bit, that was just your fault for being stupid. Whatever.
I still think it is sad, and I kind of have to judge it at that level too, because okay, like even with the sex demon, was this the one where, well, whatever.
I mean,
But
she was getting busy with a demon in church.
yeah. So it's just like sometimes, and I do understand with free will and that we all have a path and a choice. But when you get to that point where you believe certain things, yeah, you believe because you made a decision to believe it. But sometimes I feel like it's based on the manipulative ways of the leadership, you know. And it's sad to me because I see so many people that live their entire lives believing a certain thing. Like, instead of her being able to own her sexuality or just believe, hey, I just had a dream, or maybe this was a suppressed desire, or maybe I just fell asleep watching a movie and I dreamt about something. Like, now she believes she has a demon. And I think those are the things that's very sad and scary for me, because I think that people don't get to live their whole lives. And I can agree that, hey, well, you got to take your life, you know, take ownership of your life. You got to do this or whatever. But how many people, just like I know so many older people that have died not being their greatest on earth because they're waiting on their riches in heaven. And then, you know, I get so upset with the church and with the pastors that play on these Bible verses and play on the weaknesses of elderly, old, impoverished, or, you know, minority people that put their 100% lives into the Bible. So it bothers me.
Yeah.
So heretics, yeah.
And how come, and I think somebody said that DJ Luke Nasty made this comment, but it's true. How come Marvin Sapp got a pass for when they did that little remix with
never would have made it.
Yeah, exactly. You know, the beat that they used, what they was talking about in that beat, huh? What there was the Yin Yang Twins, wasn't it?
No, that was Trillville.
Trillville, yeah.
That we bed squeaking and everything.
Exactly.
They put the bed squeak, but they didn't. Well, yeah.
We all know what that sound is. There's only one thing. There's only one thing that make that sound. There's one thing happening when the bed squeaking.
No, who made the beat? Because they said that, hey, it was actually, I was in a studio and I was in a bad chair, but it sounded like a bed and we used it, but they did use it as a bed, but it wasn't a bed, is what they actually said.
Yeah.
Well, Marvin Sapp got a pass. That's true. And people loved it. They jammed it. It was popular for a little segment when people was playing it on memes and videos and stuff.
Look at Kanye. I went to his concert here at Lakewood Church last year. The memory just actually popped up on my things, but you know, my whatever social media. And he's taken so many secular songs and turned them into gospel songs for his Jesus is King. And I haven't heard his album or whatever. I haven't heard the whole thing, but that choir sounded phenomenal singing those songs. I was like, oh, they gonna take SWV's Week and turn it into a gospel song. Okay, how they gonna do this? You know, so I'm sitting back listening. He did that with a lot of secular music, and the church, well, not all of the church, but a lot of the church people are into it because they're like, oh, he's finally seeing the light. He knows who he is in Christ.
He's seeing something.
He's taking this music and turning it into gospel music. So like, let's give him a chance. And so anyway, it was interesting to watch.
Yeah, I listened to his album Jesus King, and this was before all the comments he made about, you know, Trump and blah blah blah. I liked it. I mean, it's a good album. You know what I'm saying? It got a couple of tracks on there that I like so much that I like.
Really not talking about that album.
You know, I know we not. I'm just saying.
No, I'm saying Gina's really talking about what's their name? What's the choir name?
You talking about? Okay, I know what you're talking about. I know it's on.
Album.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know what you're talking. Yeah, okay, I got that. But you're right. But Kanye, I mean, even if you listen to that album, the beats and stuff that you hear, those are not the normal types of beats you hear with gospel music. Like, those are beats that you hear with hip hop. So what? Because it started with a gospel song, it's okay. Like a beat is a beat. That's really what it comes down to. A beat is a beat. Now, yeah, DJ New Nasty took a couple of some of the lyrics and kind of like phrased them in a way that was, to his song. But even still, like the power is in belief. The power is in belief. Like that is separate. They don't have to be exclusive. Like they don't have to, they don't have to be together. Melodies in Heaven and his song, whatever it's called, they're not the same thing. They're two totally different things. If you don't want to listen to it, then just don't listen to it. Mm-hmm. Bottom line, I mean, it's the uproar is crazy to me.
Absolutely. So I was just looking at something. I know this is totally off topic or whatnot, but it goes to speak to something that we spoke about in a previous show. Um, it's titled "If I'm Not In on Friday, I Might Be Dead." It says the chilling facts about UK femicide. So the stat says that in the past decade, a woman is killed by a man every 3 days in the United Kingdom. So
God damn.
that's why I was saying I don't think it's not just we live in a patriarchal society. Like we don't have to go into it. But we live in a patriarchal society. This type of shit is happening all across the world. It's not just black women. It's not just American
we
women.
weren't talking about domestic abuse. So
No,
that's a whole different.
it's not just about domestic abuse though.
But the stat that you just gave was about domestic
No,
abuse.
it's not. It's not just about domestic. Oh, okay. If
Wait,
you want to
hold
call
on
it
before y'all
everything,
continue. Just for our listeners, just so you, my listeners, this is a conversation that's carried over from another episode
I
that
said
I'm
it
sure
already.
y'all heard. Did you say that? Okay, my
Yeah, I
bad. I
just
missed
said
that part. I want to
wasn't
make
it?
sure. Okay, you're right. I missed that part. Go ahead.
So no one said that other women don't deal with issues, that they're not disrespected and that they don't get abused, killed, beat on, or raped, or any of that. That was never the statement. We are talking about the level of disrespect that black women. It's far. It's not even a close. We wouldn't even have a recount. It's not even close, and no one can convince me otherwise. So yes, and if your numbers are, it's almost like someone saying, "Oh, do you see how many police kill white people yearly?" Okay, but is it because they're white, or is it because there's more white people that are committing crimes? And is it so? It's not the same thing. It's not an apples to
That's
apples
not. That's
comparison.
not the. That's not the same thing.
Yeah, I understand that, but that's how silly it sounds to me. So what I'm saying is black women, when it comes to being heard and being valued, when we're saying something's happening to us across the board in every industry, whether it's going to the doctor, whether it's having a baby, whether it's in the workplace, we're not valued the same. So yes, white women, they still make less money than white men. They are still being sexually harassed. They still have to deal with abuse. And after this whole, COVID situation, in which we're not after, but if you look at the rates of domestic abuse right now, it's crazy. It's really crazy right now because people are at home with their abusers, and it's across the board. But when I'm talking about on just across the board, everywhere, black women are undervalued. Our complaints are not taken seriously, and that's what it is. And it's not the same as our
I value black.
counterparts.
I value black women, and I take black women complaints seriously.
And I appreciate you. And that's why we fight for you. That's why
That's
we'll die for you. And that's why we love you, King, because you're beautiful.
Is that from a
that's what's
song?
up.
No, I just made that
That
up. Bars.
Oh, that was good. That was good.
Speaking of,
Oh,
oh,
so
go ahead.
Regina, you sent us this article a couple of days ago, and the article says telling male friends I love you is a muscle guys needs to flex every day. Now I didn't get a chance to read through the full article, but can you talk to us about why that's important? Because I don't know if it's important at all. I mean, I don't see why it's important.
Well, because so I ran
Ain't
across
nothing
this
important
article.
to compare.
Oh, wait, no, I have all boys. I have two boys of my own. I have mostly nephews, and so in the beginning they start off little boys. They start off playing, and they're okay, and everything's all good, and they don't mind hugging each other and having a good time together. Then at some
Taking
point,
baths
and
together.
I mean,
all of that
no,
kind of stuff.
not no, I'm not bathing them together. But at some point in these young men's lives, they don't express that anymore. It's almost like now we gotta hurt each other. Now we gotta body slam each other. Now we gotta, try to make each other look stupid or foolish or whatever. And I'm like, when did that stop? Why did that stop? So then when I ran across this article, I was like, okay, yeah, this is something that needs to happen. Like amongst grown men, like start acting like y'all care about each other. Otherwise, we wouldn't have Jeezy and Gucci messed up situations like that. I'm just saying.
So
if they would have just told each other that, you know what, man, I love you, they wouldn't even have no beef.
So this is one of these situations where somebody puts something in an article and people look at it like, yes, that makes sense. But it absolutely is ridiculous. And I'm going to tell you why it's ridiculous.
Did you even read the article?
I read enough. Like, I've been skimming through it and I got the gist of it. I promise you I got the gist of it. Jeff Pierce, the fact that it's written, I was hoping it was written by a woman so I could say, see, she's not a man. She don't know what she's talking about. She can't relate to us, but it was written by a man. But, so this is the thing. Men show, and I feel like this is a natural thing. And I feel like when something is natural, you let it be natural. Like, you don't need to change it because you feel like there's a disconnect. So men show that they like somebody or care about each other in different ways. You just said it, Regina. When did it come to like wrestling and hurting each other? But that's the thing. That's not the intent of that. That's playfulness. That's like me and Damon, we Jones on each other all the time. Like literally, we used to answer the phone with this saying, we'd be like, boy who something, 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 something. And it was like, it was just funny, you know? And what do boys do when they like a girl when they're young? Do they just go over to them and say, hey, girl, you so pretty. I like you so much. No, they hit on them. They play around with them. But that's how, it's just how boys are. It's like,
is that natural?
It's
or
natural.
is that what they think they're supposed to do?
Where do you see it being taught? That's the thing.
I don't know.
I wasn't taught that. My dad didn't walk around slapping my mom across the face and be like, I love you, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was a kid, when I liked a girl, I wanted some attention from her. And that was the easiest way to do it without being embarrassed by saying, I like you so much. Will you give them a letter that say, do you like me? Circle yes or no. You just start messing with them. You start playing around with them. Like I be seeing at school, and I'm not going to say names, but I be seeing, I can tell these little boys that like the girls. It's obvious. It's obvious. Like that's a natural way that men show affection for each other. I think you have situations where men should tell the people in their lives that they love them just so they know, just so they can, like, hey man, we've been together, bro. You my dog, man. I love you, bro. But every day, get that out of here. We don't need to do that every day. That's not a muscle we need to flex.
Not every day. Not to the same guy every day, because that would get a little weird.
So each day I got to write and let him down. Today I'm going to tell my dad I love him. Damien.
I mean, people, not even every day, but people in your life, because then at some point, those people aren't going to be there anymore, whether they die or they move on, or, you lose contact or whatever. And you'll wish, man, I should have let them know how much I cared. I should have told, this person I love them or whatever. And so I don't see that a lot with men. I don't see them, even in my own family, they don't just be like, come here, I love you, man. It's not even like that. And I'm like, what the hell is wrong with our men that they can't express like true love for one another without it being weird and being, I ain't gay. I ain't saying I love him. I ain't gay,
But see, if you're saying that the man responds in that way, saying I ain't gay, then yes, that person has an image of saying I love you to a man that should be broken down. Like that's insecurities, exactly. But that's not what I'm talking about. So if this is what this article is about, which I didn't really get the gist of that, then I agree. But I feel like the article is talking about just like, for example, me and Damon, I don't remember saying I love you to Damien ever. I mean, maybe I have once or twice we was talking about something and we might, but I don't remember it. But I don't feel like I need to.
But if you had, would it have gotten weird? If you had been like, man, I love you. I just want you to know that.
If we would sit like, you know, going somewhere and I was like, hey Damon, you know what? We've been through a lot together, man. You know, I just want to let you know that.
When you talk like
and then I'm
that,
looking at I'm just saying, it depends on how it happened. It depends on how it happened. You know,
right now, for the listeners, look Damon in the eyes on your Zoom.
See, look how you just said it. You said look him in the eyes on your Zoom.
Okay, well, look away. Look away.
I don't have a problem saying it, but let me finish this. Like, I tell my dad I love him all the time. Like, usually when we get off the phone, I tell him I love him. When I talk to my brother, you know, we don't talk as much. So when I do talk, I tell him I love him. But, you know, I don't like, and maybe it is more of a, like, my family, like, you know, blood family. We grew up, so I tell them. My friends, I don't really say it as much. So I can see how the article has some elements to where, yeah, that probably does make sense. But it's not a, I can't say it because I feel like I'm if I say it, I'm gay or nothing like that. It's not an insecurity. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, I don't feel like that's something that you need to, like, I really, like, if Damon was to pass today, I wouldn't be at a funeral saying, man, I never told him I loved him. Man, my boy know I love him. You know what I'm saying? You know I care about him.
Do you know that?
Tell him.
When he calls you the B word, do you know?
I am not a puppet. And you guys are not going to force me to do something that I don't want to do right now in this
Why
moment.
don't you want to do it, though?
Because those moments are, well, I can't say that shit. That's because
exactly.
Sacred? Is it sacred?
Why?
I can say it, but Damon wanted to say something, so I'm going to let him speak.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let me speak. Nah, I think it's a matter of, like, when I looked at the article, and I admit I didn't read the full thing, but it seemed like this person was resentful or whatnot and didn't actually express their love to this person, you know what I'm saying, while they were here. So they were resenting that fact or whatnot. Me and Capel love each other. That's my bro, you know what I'm saying? He's like one of my closest brothers or whatever. We don't gotta say we love each other to know that we love each other, you know what I'm saying? But it's not that we can't say it. It's just, to be 100% honest, I didn't grow up telling nobody I loved them. Like, nobody. My daddy might be the only person that I remember telling I love you, and that's because he was in prison, and he instilled that in me to tell him, because he would tell me because he was in prison when I visit him or we have a phone conversation or a letter. So it wasn't really, I wasn't telling my mom I love you, my grandma, I wasn't telling nobody because it wasn't instilled in me. So when I got older, I started telling people that myself that I love, you know what I'm saying? And it probably started like with my kids or something like that or whatever. So me and Capel was already, you know what I'm saying, bros before, you know, my kids and stuff like that or whatever. So it's something that I kind of grew into to make a point to tell like my family members and stuff like that. And, you know, different people that I love them, but I don't have to, it don't have to be like everyday thing, all the time thing or nothing like that or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I ain't gonna force us to do it either. Because I see y'all smirking and smiling.
Right?
We're gonna do it in a few minutes.
But look, at the same time,
I'm just messing around, y'all.
At the same time, it depends on that like, to me, I like to give, if you're willing to give me what I require in a relationship, I'm willing to give you what you require. Whether it's wife, girlfriend, mama, daddy, whoever, you know what I'm saying?
Love language.
I'm a reciprocator. Exactly. So if you want to say I love you every time we get off the phone, I'm gonna tell you I love you. Sometimes I can say it for you because it to me, I love you. It doesn't matter to me. It's not a big deal or whatever, you know. But if you need that reassurance, I'll give it to you. You know
some people need to hear it. Yeah, I didn't grow up saying I love you either, but I think like Damien said, and it might have come with a kid. Like when I had my daughter, I tried to change some things, and I'm not even a hug. You know, my husband will tell you, I don't like to cuddle, I don't like to hug, and people will say, "Oh, you know, it's the man." No, I've never liked it. I just never liked it. But I forced myself to do it because I know that some people have different love languages, you know. And I don't know what I think I know my daughter's love language, but I do know I don't need her growing up saying my mom never hugged me or she never said I love you. So I text her or send her a poem or maybe a love letter. But I do it now to my friends too, and it's crazy because I have some solid family members, but then I have some really solid friends that are like family. And
Mm-hmm.
So I make sure to text him out the blue. Like we may talk a couple times a year, but I'm like, okay, I know I don't talk to you, but I need you to know I love you. I appreciate you being in my life. It's getting to the point where it does get a little mushy with me because so many people are dying. We're getting at that age where even though death isn't new, you know, I've had friends die from early ages, but people are just dropping. And it's like, I need to make sure if you didn't know, I think my actions show it, but if it's not showing,
Yeah.
you're going to get these words today.
Yeah.
But I also don't require people to tell me they love me back. And I tell my husband all the time, when we tell the kids we love them, they don't have to say it back or they don't have to give us a hug. It's okay for everyone to have their space. So I think we have to also understand how people are
Yeah.
comfortable being
I
loved.
don't agree with that.
Well, I
If I
do.
tell you I love you, you better tell me back.
No, I don't. I don't because I know I went through the motions and told people I love them just because they said it because it's like it's something you're supposed to say. Or like when you're a kid, there goes Aunt Jean, go hug her. I'm like, I don't know that person.
Yeah.
I don't think, I think that we need, especially with kids, they need to know that they can take ownership of how they feel and show love when they're comfortable, not just because somebody says they're related or that's my best friend or that's Uncle Joe. I'm just a little different when it comes to how I force my kids to do it.
Yeah, I mean, and thinking about the article and what I feel like he's meaning behind it is really more of just showing people or people know like knowing how you feel like your relationships in general, and the words like saying I love you to some people it means a lot when they hear it. To some people, like the fact that what you do for me lets me know that you love me is more important than saying it, and I mean there's conversations that I can actually pinpoint, like me and Damien having, where man, my boy know that I care about him, I love him, I do anything for him. Like for example, we talking about like people that do egregious stuff like killing somebody or walking in and doing this, and I'd be like, and I said this before and he said it before, like man, if somebody like I probably wouldn't act this way unless it happened to like you or my mom or my daddy or something like that. Like that to me, that's what, like how people know that you care about them. It's what you say to them. It's how you treat them. It's the things that you do for them. It's not always the necessary like needed. Like I know in like relationships, spousal relationships, a lot of times the need to hear it is more important. Like my wife, she we say it pretty much daily. It's times where I tell my wife that I love her when I come home, and then 30 minutes later she's like, you ain't telling me you love me today. And I'm like, yeah, I did. As soon as I walked through there, I was like, oh yeah, you're right, you did. So like that stuff is understandable. Like if I didn't say it every day, would my wife think I didn't love her? No, she know I love her. But that reassurance and hearing it and saying it is something that makes people feel good, So I understand that, and I'm like Damon. Like in a relationship, I ain't gonna lie, it would be a little awkward if Damon was like, "Hey, bro, I just need you to tell me you love me more, bro."
Why does your
It
voice
would,
change
it would.
whenever you go into
It's
that?
the way you say
Why does
it.
your
Bro,
voice
because I'm
change?
trying to imitate
That's
Damien.
not how
You
it
know
would
what I'm saying?
go.
I
That's not how
don't.
it
Our
goes.
voice is different. His voice is a little deeper than mine, so I'm trying to
Hey,
imitate
bro,
Damien.
you're making this weird.
No, I'm being honest though. Like if any of my male
Hey, bro, I
friends,
think
and
you do have an issue,
there's
bro.
a deal.
I think
No,
with
no,
the story, you do have an issue.
listen. I'm not denying that it wouldn't be uncomfortable. If you want to call it an issue, you can. Like if any of my male friends, like okay, let me use my voice. I'm gonna keep my voice because I was about to do it again.
Yeah,
If any of my male friends was like, I need you to tell me you love me more, man. I don't feel the love. I would be like, I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I can just tell you everything just because you want to hear it. I mean, it is a male, like a machoism thing to a certain extent, at least for me, and I feel like it's probably like that for most men. Like I know Damien said, if he telling the truth, that's fine. But I feel like Damien may feel a little uncomfortable telling me he loved me every day if I told him that's what I needed from our relationship because we men. It's not natural. I don't feel like that's a natural thing. I just don't.
So I'm gonna say this, bro. If every time we talk, if you was just like, "Hey, bro, I love you," I would say it back. You know what I'm saying? But if we had to have a conversation about it, then yeah, you're right. I would feel a certain way about that.
Now, I don't know. I mean, I tell my friend, even when I'm texting, just like in general, I'm like, okay, girl, I love you. And then they're like, love you too. And then we keep it moving. And I do. I genuinely love my friends. And I don't have that many friends. I have a very small circle of friends. I don't keep that many friends because I don't trust people like that. So the friends I have, I love them and I'm going to let them know because I don't know when I'm going to see them again or if something happens to them or whatever. I think women think that way. And maybe men don't. I don't know what y'all are thinking, but I rarely see men just be like, "I love you.
You
You're a
don't
good
know. You don't want
friend."
to know what we thinking.
I,
So,
Go
so
ahead.
I
like
don't.
somebody like for example, like somebody and I say like Jonas or C Baby, you know, Damien, you know what I'm talking about. Those are like our brothers. We are brothers. Like we don't talk to them as much. When we was at home, we would hang tight. Like you know, we was always like, what we doing tonight? You know, what we going this weekend? We would just always be together. And then when we moved, of course, things like changed. But me and Damon have been the consistent, you know, as far as talking all the time. And Jonas, we'll talk every now and then. C Baby, we don't talk as much. Trey as well. But those are my brothers now. I may feel a certain way if something happened to one of them, and I'll say, "Damn, I mean, I should have talked to that boy more." But it's because we don't talk a lot. Me and Damon talk every day, so it's evident like how we feel about each other. But they, while they know and while I know, is one of those things when you disconnected from somebody or when you don't talk that much. Like I'm not a phone person, so I don't talk to my dad all the time. And then my dad's older. And then my brother, we hardly ever talk. But when we talk, I say it because we don't talk a lot. So I feel like internally, subconsciously, I do understand that because those are the people that I actually say it to the most. My dad, my brother, because I don't talk to them that much. You know, and I don't, and so I do get what the article is saying, and I believe there's truth in what it's saying, but I don't necessarily think it comes to having to say I love you to be the way that it's expressed. That's my point. And I definitely don't think it needs to be something that's like practiced every single day. That's ridiculous to me.
I mean, like again, like because even if you say the words, it doesn't necessarily mean that you love that person. I mean, I could tell you
Yeah,
I love you before I kill you. You know what I'm saying? Does that like what does that mean?
that's some cold
You know what
shit
I'm
right
saying? That's
there.
sending some mixed signals.
I mean,
Q's in Stevie Wonder, these three words. So,
Yeah.
well, I love being a part of this podcast.
I do
But
too.
what does that mean?
It means what I said.
But I'm saying, but you're not saying
I
you
take it a
love
step
us.
further. I love y'all. I love y'all. Y'all good people. Our relationships have gotten better. I ain't gonna lie, Regina. We work together, but I feel like our relationship has gotten better because of this podcast, and I appreciate that. Ebony, I always knew who you was, but I didn't know you. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I know you more, and I do love you. I do care about you. And Damien, I love you too. There you go. You got it. I said it.
Sound bites.
You know, it don't take much for me to like really care about somebody, but I don't talk to a lot of people, so of course I don't open up and stuff like that. But when I do open up to people, like if you somebody that you know I vibe with and we talk and we get to know, it don't take much for me to care about you. It don't.
Yep.
that's good. I'm
So
glad y'all are able to express your feelings. I don't know about Damien. I mean, he just said he could tell somebody he loves them right before he kills them. So we might have to unpack that on another episode because that's a little
Yeah, we got to
scary.
unpack that. We got to get a therapist on.
All right.
and then I want y'all to go back and listen to what I actually said, and then be like, oh, okay. So I know we coming towards the end of the show. And I guess since we talking about, well, I'm not even gonna go there. So one of the eldest members of our family on our grandmother's side, Etheline Carter, which was born in Ruston, Louisiana, to Gus and Annie Adams Harris, passed away, and she was 100 years old.
Listen,
She was born in 1920, October 25th, 1920. That's crazy. The reason why, well, I brought her up because that was our Aunt Lean, and I don't think Ebony got a chance to kick it with her that much. I probably went and kicked it with her maybe once or twice. I met her, I don't know, probably
That's
around the
funny.
same time I met Ebony or whatever. But being that she was that old, she was probably what in 80s when I met her. Man, she was still in her right frame of mind and everything, as like she was 20 or 30 or something like that or whatever. I thought that was amazing.
it is amazing. 100 years old. That's a blessing that many people, most people, don't get to see.
Yep.
So
And it
that's
was
definitely a
right at her
blessing.
birthday when she passed away. So,
Yeah. So I know we closing, but I thought that's crazy. She's from Ruston. You know what I'm saying? I was raised in Alexandria, Louisiana, which is what
That's
45 an
yeah, not
hour
longer,
away.
not far, not long at all. Yeah.
and
So
y'all met in Houston.
being born, the reason why I'm saying that because I was born in Watts or whatnot. And all of my family, my immediate family, was from California. Like everybody, that's all I knew. So I grew up 2,000 miles away where my family originated from. You know what I'm saying? And didn't know anybody. Like we got tons of people in Louisiana, like in Ruston and Grambling, Simsboro, all of that area. We got hundreds, probably 200-300 family members or whatever that I didn't know about. I don't think you knew about. You know what I'm saying? I think that's crazy. Our family did a bad job.
Well, I definitely didn't know any of this family. Like Damien told y'all, I don't know if we were recording, but I met Damien as an adult. I had my first daughter. She was like 1 or almost 1 when I met
and we first
him.
cousins.
And I met him, and I met him, and he said, we're first cousins. I didn't even know he existed. It's not that we didn't just meet. I didn't even know, never heard of him. And and then we look a lot alike. But the thing is, we have a lot of family that moved from Grambling, Louisiana. They live in Dallas. They live in Houston. Some of them I grew up down the street from. I went to high school not too far from at one point, and I never knew they existed. So it's just really crazy, like the dynamics of like how family reunions. And actually, we do have a family reunion. We have a huge one. It's always every 2 years in Louisiana. Now they have it in Dallas, but we just found out about that too. So just how everything is connected, and it's just really strange, and the dynamic of the family and just not knowing. So get to know your people. Like, I mean, I'm glad Damien didn't ever try to come down here, because I was flying my 9. He might have thought he's, this beautiful woman, I'm his cousin. It's just like, you gotta really think about those things with your kids. True. Let them know.
I have been we done made plenty trips to H-Town, you know what I'm saying? So that's crazy. But
yeah, I saw Steve Harvey. I heard one of Steve Harvey letters years ago where this woman wrote a letter. She was dating this guy, and she took him to the family reunion, and then something like, somebody saw him and they was like, oh, blah blah blah. And it turned out that they was like brother and sister.
Wow.
Yeah,
hey, that's terrible.
Because it was what movie?
Man, what's the name of it? I think it was called It Could Happen or something like that or whatever.
I don't know if I saw that.
It was this white dude, this white chick. They ended up falling in love with each other and stuff like that, but they was like brothers and sisters.
Oh,
I think that's
that
the
movie.
name of it.
But this is real life, and I was like, oh man, that's terrible, absolutely terrible. And it was terrible because while they knew that they couldn't be together, they were still in love, like. Love in that way,
How can you just turn it off?
You're right. You can't just turn it off. That's so it was like, whoa. So yeah. People out there that got kids, like own your kids. At least let them know who you are. Let them know who their siblings are. Like if you ain't gonna take care of them, okay, whatever. But let them know who the siblings are. Like so, everybody know who family is. But anyways.
Yeah. Wow.
All right. So anyway. Nah, that ain't that movie. That movie, It Could Happen. That's with Nicolas Cage. What the hell happened to Nicolas Cage?
You talking about? No, that's not the movie you talking about. I thought you was talking about the movie Old Boy, Old Roy, or something like that.
Oh my God, no,
that's different. That's still bad though. That's equally bad. That's father daughter.
Oh my God,
hey, but that's crazy. We can talk about that another day. But that movie right there,
there's a movie called Old Boy. Y'all check that out.
Is it gonna make me fall asleep? Is Old Boy gonna make me fall asleep?
Nah, I don't think so.
Hey Gina,
I don't think so.
Gina, I'm not gonna let you blaspheme my my name like that. You know what I'm saying? Put some respect on my name.
Oh, you talking about when you talking about movies? When you recommend movies?
She's trying to act like I don't be suggesting no good movies or whatever. All right, well, man, we appreciate y'all. Y'all keep rocking with us, keep watching, keep listening. This is Acoustic Chef.
Peace.
Till next time.